Marjorie Taylor Greene spoke at the Conservative Political Action Conference, and I just can't even, we've done so many Marjorie Greene stories over the last week or so that I can't handle going through a long segment where we look at her entire speech, multiple segments from it. So instead, we'll just look at one subject she addressed in such a dishonest way, so deeply dishonest. And we looked at one of these clips during a past segment about the lie from many members of the right wing that President Zelensky said something that he didn't say. And you'll hear her reference that lie. I'll once again explain what was distorted here and the lie that's being told about what Zelensky said, but here is Marjorie Greene.
And I'll tell you why. The left has told us something that should put fear in the heart of every parent, and not just parents, every single person. They've said they're coming for our children. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to kids, I think the Republican Party has a duty. We have a responsibility, and that is to be the party that protects children.
Is this the same party that stands against action on gun control that would prevent the amount of deaths we see for children in America, causing it to be the leading cause of death for children in America, but individuals like Marjorie Greene stand against gun control legislation that would actually help to protect children in America? Okay.
Now, whether it's like Zelensky saying he wants our sons and daughters to go die in Ukraine.
Yeah, so he did not say that, as we went over in a whole segment dedicated to this lie. What he actually was saying is the reason the United States should support with the military aid, lethal aid, not sending troops, but the aid we've been sending, financial aid, to Ukraine is because if Ukraine were to lose, were to have Russia be successful in their endeavor, in their disgusting endeavor, then it would be more likely that Russia would continue to aggress beyond Ukraine, would continue to violate the sovereignty of other countries, possibly. And if Russia were to violate the sovereignty of a NATO state, then the United States would have to get involved in one of those states, not Ukraine. He's not saying United States, American soldiers need to come die in Ukraine. He's saying if we lose here, if Ukraine can't stand against Russia in this situation, it will become more likely that Russia would then go on to violate the sovereignty, possibly of a NATO state, causing American soldiers to have to get involved because of Article 5 and the whole purpose of NATO. So that's what he was saying. They completely lied about what he said and clipped out this one little moment where it sounded like he was saying something different. And it truly was one of the most dishonest things I've seen in a very long time in American politics, which is saying a lot. Then here's more of her talking about Zelensky and Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
And while I'm still committed to saying no money to Ukraine, and that country needs to find peace, not war.
We'll watch more of this clip, but that country needs to find peace, not war. Hey, how about you bring up the entity, the government, and then the leader of that government, Putin, who's causing this war to go on, causing peace not to be achieved here. And that's never a subject of these comments from individuals like Marjorie Greene. It's always Ukraine and the United States need to find peace. How about Russia finds peace? How about Russia stops invading? If the United States were to stop supporting Ukraine, then it becomes more likely Russia is able to be successful in this attack, in this invasion, and that would not be achieving peace. This would cause it to be more likely that Russia continues, and a horrible precedent is set where the world moving forward is even more unstable because Russia and other authoritarian governments have the ambition and know that the precedent has been set that they would be able to be successful in violating the sovereignty of another country and trying to occupy another country's territory for the purposes of expanding an empire. That is not a precedent we want to set. That would not cause the world to be more stable. And Marjorie Greene is advocating for a policy that would make it more likely for this war to get even more bloody and even more disastrous and make the world, like I said, more unstable. So disgusting.
look at a camera and directly tell Zelensky, you better leave your hands off of our sons and daughters because they're not dying over there.
He's not at all pushing for that. Sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot, but as I said during the past segment on this, Ukrainian soldiers are dying. Ukrainian citizens are dying to prevent Russia from being able to aggress any further. Now, protecting their own country, of course, but what they're doing with their actions is actually making it less likely that a situation would happen where Russia violates the sovereignty of a NATO state and causes American soldiers to have to get involved because of the bravery, courage, and sacrifice coming from the Ukrainian people.
I will also inform the lion that looks to devour, and that lion is looking to devour our children, that our God is bigger. And our God is the God that created us, man and woman. In his image, he created us. And our God is the God that created our children. And because of him, we will get this bill passed, and the Republican Party will be the party that protects children from such an evil that I cannot believe it exists in this time.
Once again, I say, I agree we should protect children. And when looking at how we need to protect children, the first thing that comes to mind is, what is the leading thing killing children? That's pretty significant, right? When it comes to protecting children, firearm-related deaths. So how about we start addressing that, Marjorie Taylor Greene? But she won't. It's just a political talking point, and quite the dishonest political talking point. And it is individuals like Marjorie Taylor Greene who are actually standing in the way of so many actions that would help protect children, and standing in the way of the United States doing what it should be doing. Now, she's not successful in standing in the way of this, but right now, but she would if she had it her way. The United States doing what it should be doing, which is support Ukraine for the purpose of protecting Ukrainian citizens, their country, and also setting a precedent moving forward so that Russia or other countries don't think it will work for them to do what Russia's doing now. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.